In the quiet suburbs of Salem, Oregon, lived a woman named Karen Mitchell, a 41-year-old community librarian who loved nothing more than bringing people together through stories, books, and her small but thriving backyard garden. Life had not always been easy for Karen. After losing her first husband in a tragic accident when she was in her early 30s, she thought she would never find love again. But fate surprised her when she met David Mitchell, a kind-hearted contractor who had also experienced his share of hardships. David had a 16-year-old son named Ryan, a bright but sometimes withdrawn teenager still adjusting to life after his parents' divorce. When Karen and David married, it wasn't always simple blending their worlds together. Karen worried if Ryan would ever feel comfortable with her presence, and Ryan struggled with balancing loyalty to his mom while also respecting his dad's new wife. Karen never tried to replace Ryan's mother. Instead, she found little ways to connect with him, through kindness, through respect, and, unexpectedly, through her garden. Karen's backyard was her sanctuary. Rows of tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchinis, and carrots thrived under her care. She had planted fruit trees along the edges of the fence and kept a patch of sunflowers that swayed in the Oregon breeze. To Karen, gardening was more than a hobby. It was therapy, hope, and patience all rolled into one. Ryan never paid much attention to the garden at first. He was more interested in basketball practice, video games, and spending time with his friends. But one Saturday morning in early September, Karen's garden caught his eye. Karen had just finished pulling up a basket full of bright orange carrots and shiny red tomatoes. She placed them on the patio table, wiping sweat from her brow, proud of how much she had harvested. That's when Ryan walked outside, stretching and yawning. "Whoa," he said, stopping in his tracks. "You grew all that? From scratch?" Karen laughed gently. "From seeds, yes. A little bit of care every day, and this is what happens." Ryan stepped closer, staring at the vegetables as if he had never seen them before. "That's actually kind of amazing." The words caught Karen off guard. Ryan was a good kid, but he rarely expressed wonder or admiration openly. For him to say something like that meant more than she could explain. From that day forward, Ryan showed more interest in the garden. He asked Karen how to plant seeds, how to tell if the soil was too dry, and how she kept bugs from ruining her plants. Sometimes, after school, he would join her for just a few minutes, digging small holes with his hands or watering the plants with a garden hose. Slowly, those minutes stretched into hours. One Saturday morning, Ryan surprised Karen by showing up at the farmer's market with her. He carried the baskets of vegetables while she arranged them at a small stand. Karen noticed how his confidence grew when people praised the freshness of their produce. A proud smile spread across his face when someone bought carrots he had helped pull from the soil. "You're a natural at this," Karen told him. Ryan shrugged, but his cheeks flushed with pride. "It's not bad. I kind of like it, actually." That night, as David sat with them at the dinner table eating a salad made from their harvest, he noticed something had shifted. His son and his wife were laughing together, sharing little inside jokes about garden pests and sunflowers that grew taller than Ryan himself. For the first time, David felt an overwhelming relief. The two people he loved most were no longer living in separate corners of his life. They were beginning to build a bridge between them. The real turning point came in October when Ryan's school announced a science fair. To everyone's surprise, Ryan decided to enter a project about soil health and plant growth. He had taken careful notes from Karen's gardening methods, documenting the differences between soil with compost and soil without it. Karen was touched beyond words when Ryan asked if she could help him set up his display board. Together, they laid out photos of their garden, graphs of his results, and a small tray of seedlings he had grown himself. At the fair, Ryan presented his project with confidence. When the judges awarded him second place, his eyes lit up like never before. He turned to Karen first, not even his father, and said, "We did it." Karen felt her heart swell. In that moment, she realized Ryan no longer saw her as just Dad's wife. She was someone he trusted, someone who had earned his respect through patience, love, and shared effort. Months later, on a crisp Thanksgiving morning, Karen went out to the backyard to pick the last of the autumn vegetables. Ryan followed her, carrying a basket. He didn't need to say anything. His actions spoke for themselves. Together, they filled the basket with carrots, potatoes, and herbs for the holiday meal. As they walked back inside, Ryan paused and looked at her. "Karen, thanks. Not just for the garden, but for everything." Karen's eyes filled with tears, but she only smiled and squeezed his shoulder. At that moment, she understood. The garden hadn't just grown vegetables. It had grown trust, patience, and a bond stronger than she ever imagined. Her stepson's reaction to her garden harvest hadn't just left her speechless. It had given her hope that love can be nurtured in the most unexpected ways.